Hello everybody, welcome to the Sound Test Room. Today we are taking a look at the brand new app from Bram in collaboration with Jakob. Oh yes. Okay, so it's brilliant. It's a generative semi-modular synthesizer. You can use this three ways. Now it's called Solderbox. I know Americans say solder, so Solderbox. I think Jakob also called it Solderbox, so I'm guessing that's what it should be called. But me being English, it's difficult for me. It presents a dilemma. It's a bit like GarageBand and GarageBand. Anyway, in the UK, we say solder. And it's spelt solder, but I guess other people leave out the L. I don't know why. Anyway, but it doesn't matter how you pronounce it, I guess. Right. Anyway, so it can be used in three ways. It can be so it can self-generate sounds on its own, which is brilliant. It's really, really great for that. You can also play it as just a normal synth. So, for example, if I open this up, let's expand this a little bit. So you've got this is the initial default sound. So, which is actually really lovely, sine wave thing. So it's a semi-modular synth. So there is stuff that is pre-wired, obviously, so you don't need to do any patching. Obviously, you're going to have the most fun patching. Now, you can also, if we click on the preset manager down here, you will see you've got some different kind of things. Now, you can use it as an effect. So these AU effects are for using in the effects slot. Okay, and Jacob's made a few patches for you. Generative, basically you select one of these and Solderbox will just generate cool stuff for you. Then you can use it as an instrument, as I'm using here. So this particular sound. And if I select a different one, say for instance this creamy bass sound, let's go back. You have a general volume here. Now, also as well, what will happen is you'll probably do this. You'll do this, right? So when you open it, it'll open like this. And if you expand it like this bottom half will be grayed out, right? So what you need to do is just to select it here. So select with section. However, all you need to do, honestly, is just manipulate this a little bit and you'll get your full screen here. Save presets. You can use this trigger button here if you haven't got a keyboard connected, but obviously I'm using my MIDI keyboard. Now, it doesn't have reverbs, choruses, flanges, blah, 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 loads of special effects, but it does have this very cool delay. So let's turn the decay up. Now, Jakob was insistent upon having this delay be lo-fi, kind of like 8-bit destructive, as you'll hear this. If we increase the decay, which is the feedback, obviously, and then we can now, if to get this to self-generate, all you need literally to do is switch this on, because that overrides the envelope. Now, I am not going to even kid you and say I know how to program this, I know how to do this. I am not a modular people. Okay, it's beyond me. Okay. Luckily for us, we don't need to know anything about this because Jakob has done a really superb in-depth tutorial. You can go and watch that on his channel. You can't really do anything wrong. You have play around with all the controls. And you're bound to come up with something very cool. like I said, there are tons and tons and tons of presets for you to play around with. Right, at the end here, this is basically your signal chain oscillator into the shaper, into the low pass filter, and the VCA, the voltage control amp, and into the, well, you've got the envelope generator here as well. You also have a pulse sequencer. We'll see how this works, but I'm not saying I know this, right? So, okay, let's just close this. So this is the version here that's going to be running your keyboard sort of thing, right? So let's turn that down. The next way to use it is as an effect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this up a little bit here. I'm going to press play on scaler, and it's going to play this very cool sound from SynthMaster on these very slick jazz chords. So, okay. Very nice, very lovely. The only effect I've got on here is Solderbox. So I'm going to put it in, and it's running as an effect. So you get the idea, right? External audio now is an option. Let me just turn that down a little bit for you. You'll see that external audio is an option when you're using it as an effect. So no external audio, you're just hearing the effect that Solderbox is making on the synth. And you can blend it in sort of thing. Very cool. Looks like the pulse sequencer might be doing something. So basically, you've just got to have a mess around with it. You know, if you mess it up, it don't matter. You can just go back into the presets and reselect it. Let's listen to a few more of those. So I'll turn the volume back up. So don't forget, this is as an effect. By the way, honestly, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just playing around, so that's what you should do. See, some really lovely effects. Okay, so that's as an effect. So you can go nuts with anything you like, your vocals, your guitars, synths, whatever you want to put through there. Now, one of the coolest ways, the way that I found was most fun straight out the box was to, excuse me, use it as a generative synth. So it's making its own sound. So these four here, as you can see by the meters here, they're already pre-generating sound. It's just that I've got the volumes turned down. And this one I have a Solderbox on as an effect. And this one I have on as an effect, but they're kind of bypassed. So this first one I'm going to start with. In fact, let me have a look at what preset this is. I can't remember now because I've messed around with it. Generative. It might be, it really don't matter, but can't remember. There's no way to tell the preset I've got selected. Maybe that might be a good idea. But anyway, here we go. I'm going to bring this up. So I'm going to turn the microphone down and I'm going to play around with this. So you get the idea of how this works, right? So you can use it three different ways. Here we go. Let's bring this up now. Oh, and I've got Eventide's Black Hole on this one. And I've got a R2, Pro R2 from FabFilter on this one. So here we go. I love this. As you know, I love experimental madness, and this is it's just perfect because you do not need to know how any of this works. I mean, it's great if you do, of course. I'm not suggesting for 1 minute you don't kind of dive in. There's a really good kind of poster PDF thing that's like kind of the manual. And then watch Jakob's video because he really explains everything extremely well. It's based on his hardware thing he basically built himself, his modulator. What is it? I think it's called something like that. His modular. Anyway, awesome stuff. Let's carry on, eh? So this is this is in kind of experimental. If we have a look at these. Just brilliant. And I tell you what, I mean, Bram is a genius coder, but Jakob is, I'm not kidding, he is a clever man. I mean, he knows everything about synths, but he's just such a genius, he really is. Haunting, very nice, very ethereal. Just awesome. It's one patch. What's krill? Right, okay, let's leave it on that for a sec. Let's bring up this one. So you can do some very cool rhythmic stuff. Oh, it's just bloody great, this is. I think Jakob and Bram's idea was to have yourself not a merry little Christmas, but to have yourself a kind of experimental lab of sound, you know, which is just marvellous. And I've got an effect one to drop in here. Let's expand this a little bit, see what's going on. So, surging in, surging out. Okay, let's see what happens. Lower the octave on there. The pulse sequencer, which is kind of like LFOs, I think. Like I said, I don't know. I'm not going to pretend I do so. You can quantize the sequence, of course, custom at the moment, but you could choose a scale, you know, or make your own. I'll drop the effect in. so good. Okay, if you've watched this via a Premiere, I'm going to jam around with it for a bit longer, obviously. If you've watched this via a Premiere, thank you very much, much appreciated. Should we add another one in? Please strike the like, subscribe to the channel, consider becoming a Patreon and all that other cool stuff you can do to help support me and Joe. Maybe make a super chat or a super thanks. It's, Christmas is coming up. That would be very cool. Where is Solderbox? Or Solderbox, depending on where you are, I guess, in the world. Let me just get this to generate something very cool. And let's just open this. Hang on. And get a journal. Let's try the abstract ones. There was some of these that were really good. Let's try this kind of. I like that now. Let's put some echo on it. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. I will see you later. Ta-da. Like I said, I'll jam around with this for a few more minutes while you say ta-da to each other. Awesome stuff. Link in the description for Solderbox or Solderbox below. One thing I want to say, if you've made it this far, which I forgot about, but it's not really super important. Let's get A. Okay. If you click on the, I think if you click on, yeah, if you double tap on the actual, the title, it generates a random patch. But even Bram said it's 97% useless, really. But you could keep doing it till you find something really good. Like, for instance, that's quite nice. So, yeah. Anyway, look, I'm going to go round. I'll see you guys later. Ta-ra.